Little did I know that I was gonna be stuck at that airport and that I was not gonna get in that plane for the next 2 days. I was sleeping on the benches, guys. Ain't no way they're gonna leave me. Like, ain't no way I'm not gonna get on the plane. I'm like, a journey that was supposed to be at least 2 days ended up becoming like almost 5 days. The funny thing about all these guys is that I literally recorded my first ever YouTube video on this day. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Igor Monashe, and today we have a story time. This is my very first story time ever, and today we're going to be talking about how I was stuck at the however you pronounce it, this airport in Amsterdam for 2 nights. As in, I was a homeless girl in a foreign country for 2 nights, and this all happened all because I wanted to visit my family. Your girl had missed the family, she wanted to go back to her family, and the trip was so chaotic. I literally had to sleep at the airport for 2 nights. So to give a background story so that you guys can understand a little bit, this is in 2020. I came to Spain in February, and literally a week later the whole COVID saga started. We were told that classes were going to be online. I didn't have any friends because I had came late, so I didn't even manage to do orientation. So you can manage, I still don't have friends, and then they're telling us to do classes online, making it worse for me to actually have friends. So I was in my room for 6 months with no friends, with no family, with no social life. And you best believe that as soon as the borders opened, as soon as they said we can travel outside of Spain, I was ready to go. So I remember calling my dad and being like, hey, I'm ready to go home. I did my research of everything about the COVID results. I was going to Zambia, so I did my research, and I think in Zambia they said your COVID results should be at least 5 days valid or something. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get my results, and I was ready for my journey to go to Zambia. Because the borders had just opened and there was still a lot of airports that were still not working, my route was so crazy. So I was gonna do Barcelona to Amsterdam, and then I was gonna do Amsterdam to Nairobi, Kenya, and then I was gonna do Nairobi, Kenya to Lusaka, Zambia, and then I was gonna do Lusaka, Zambia to Solwezi, Zambia. Yeah, the funny thing about all these guys is that I literally recorded my first ever YouTube video on this day. I was so excited. I remember being at the Amsterdam airport and even recording. I'm gonna put a clip, but I was basically saying,
yeah, I'm ready to board, I'm ready to go home, I can't wait to see my family.
we're literally in a pandemic. Like, why are people traveling? But let me show you guys where I am right now. I'm about to board for my next flight. Little did I know that I was gonna be stuck at that airport and that I was not gonna get in that plane for the next 2 days. So as I said, I'm recording, I'm excited. I go to we're boarding, I go on the line, and then I knew I had everything. I had my papers, I had my permit, I had my passport, every single document that was needed for me to travel, I had it. So I had no doubt that I was going on that plane. I was so confident. I remember standing there, and then the lady's looking at my documents. I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, okay, I need to record the next clip. Like, I'm ready to make a YouTube video, I'm ready to make a vlog, I'm ready to make my first ever video. And then the lady tells me to stand on the side, and I'm like, okay, that's weird, but I don't question her. I just stand on the side, and then she keeps like looking at my papers, and then she's calling her colleagues, they're checking my papers, and then I'm like, what's going on, like, what's wrong? And then the lady's talking about
Actually, your results are supposed to be at least 4 days valid, and
I think mine were overdue, something wrong by a day. And according to the Nairobi, Kenya, I couldn't get into the country if my COVID results were not valid according to their law. And I remember arguing with that lady. I'm like, ma'am, I understand, but I'm literally going to be in Nairobi, Kenya for 2 hours. Let me get on that plane. My final destination is Zambia. I'll be fine. She's like, no, according to the law, you cannot get in. And I'm like, ain't no way they're gonna leave me. Like, ain't no way I'm not gonna get on the plane. I'm like, they're gonna understand me. I'm like 1 day off. Like, it should be fine. They should let me on that plane. Girl, they left me. They literally said you cannot get in. At first I was standing on the side and seeing people getting in. I'm like, I'm fine. Until I started seeing everyone getting in, and I was the only person left outside. And I'm like, you're joking. You're joking. So yeah, they told me I couldn't get on the plane, and they basically left me. Before they left me, I obviously called my dad. I literally was crying, guys. I was 19. I'd never been left by a plane before. I'm also like, the finances, like, I just missed a flight. What am I gonna do? So I called my dad. I'm crying. I couldn't even explain myself. I'm sure this man was worried. He probably thought something worse happened. And then I'm talking to him. He's like, Munasha, calm down. Like, what happened? I'm like,
they left me, I couldn't get on the plane, da 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 da.
and then he's like, okay, calm down, give one of the staff the phone, I can talk to them. So I gave the phone to the staff. My dad tried to talk to them, and obviously they didn't change their reason. So I was left at the airport. I didn't have any plan. I didn't have any relatives in Amsterdam. I didn't know anything about no one. Guys, I was new to Europe, and just even traveling by myself, that this whole thing was so scary to me. Like, it was like, looking back at it, I'm like, that was not a big deal, but like, it was like the end of the world for me at that time. So I remember I didn't have any money. I didn't have a bank account. Don't ask me why. Do not ask me why. I also didn't have, I think I had like 50 euros on me, and that was not going to be enough for everything that I needed to do. So, because I didn't have a bank account, I told my father, I didn't do my research. I just told him, send me money on Western Union. My dad sends me money on Western Union. I'm like, surely there's a Western Union at the airport. I start looking for a Western Union at the airport when you already send the money and there is no Western Union at the airport. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm asking the staff. They're like, yeah, you have to get in the city. Guys, at that point, looking back again, I sound so stupid, but looking back, I was scared of the public transport of this side of the world. I was not used to it. This whole thing of taking trains, connecting, taking metros, taking buses, that used to be so scary. So you go took a taxi, which I think they overcharged me because they saw that I was so naive. So I took a taxi. I went into the city and then I took the money. But when I was in the city, that's when I realized, oh, wait a minute, where's my bag? Where's my luggage, my checked-in bag? Because the plane left, I didn't. Where's my bag? They didn't give me any update about my bag. So I'm crashing out. I'm stressing. I'm like, okay, is my bag in Nairobi? Is my bag in Lusaka? Did they leave it here? And there was so many valuable things in there. You can imagine this is my first time going back home after coming to Europe. So I bought a lot of things for my family, and I don't know where my bag is. So I'm calling like the company, the KLM company. I'm like asking them, hey, like, where's my bag? And they're not giving me a straight answer. So now I'm stressed because I'm like, I've been left by a plane. I don't know where my luggage is. I don't have money. Too many things are happening. I need to get a COVID test. Like, it's just too many things. Anyways, I go back to the airport. I finally get money from Western Union. I go back to the airport and I'm like, okay, let me go back in the check-in. Guys, like as I'm saying it, I'm sounding I'm seeing how stupid I was. But in my mind, I was like, I could leave the airport, right? Which was a great thing. I could leave the airport and go into the city because Spain, the Netherlands, they're both in the EU. But then I left the check-in restricted area, the area you only enter when you have checked in when you're flying. And I thought I was gonna get back in. I thought I could use my boarding pass to go back in. I tried to go back in when I go to the airport, they said no. And something I forgot to mention is that when I was left, I was not the only person who was left. There was also a guy who was from Kenya who also got left because of the same reason, but he couldn't get in the city because he was coming from the UK, and because the UK is not in the EU, whatever, the saga, he couldn't even get into the city. So I had left him with one of my carry-on bags. I was like, hey, can you just hold on this can you just hold this bag for a little bit? I'm going to the city, I'm gonna come back and get it. He's like, okay, cool. I go back to the airport. They told me that I can't get in the check-in restricted area. This guy cannot get out. So I'm like, hey, can you keep the bag for me? We're probably gonna get on the same flight. But then he's like stressing me out. He's like, no,
I can't keep your bag. You have to come and get it. I'm like,
I can't get in. They're not allowing me to get in. He's like, no,
you need to figure it out. And
now I'm like, okay, I don't know where my luggage is. Now my carry-on is about to be left somewhere. He's like, I'm gonna go leave it at the lost and found. I said, what? Lost and found? So yeah, this man went and left my bag at the lost and found. So now I am missing 2 bags. I've been left by a plane. I don't have money. I don't have a bank account. I do not know where 2 of my bags are with my most valuable things. Thank God all my documents, I had them in my satchel. Thank God. Just a tip for anyone out there. Always keep the most important things with you when you're traveling, because you never know what's going to happen. So anyways, now I'm having this issue of the bags. And I was like, there was also a hotel that was in the check-in area where you can only get in when once you've checked in. There was a hotel there, so I was planning to get a hotel there. But because I couldn't get in, I couldn't get a hotel. So now I'm home. I'm homeless, and they're telling me that, oh, there's an airport that is 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away. I don't know. I was like, I don't want to do this. So I remember I was stressed. I went to the police area, and I was not gonna cry, but then I went there. I said hi. Before I could even say anything, I started crying. The policeman is like, poor child, what's wrong? And then I explained everything to him, and then I got a letter that allowed me to be at the airport, because usually when you're at the airport loitering for no reason for 2 days, you're gonna be suspected for something, and you don't have a boarding pass. So he gave me that letter, which means I could be at the airport, and whenever they asked me, I always showed him that letter. But guess where I was sleeping? I was sleeping on the benches, guys. At this point, it's not even like I couldn't get a hotel, but I was too stressed and too panicked. And I'm like, I didn't even, I remember my mom being like, Munash, just go get a hotel. I'm like, Mom, first of all, the hotels are crazy. The hotels near the airport are crazy. I'm like, who's gonna get that money? Like, where am I gonna get that money from for 2 nights with the prices they're saying? So I literally slept at the airport. I would sleep on the benches. I would literally, luckily in my satchel, I also had a small blanket. I would sleep on the benches, and I couldn't even sleep because after every 5 minutes there's an announcement. After every 5 minutes there's people coming to ask me what's wrong, and also I'm sleeping on a bench. Like, who's gonna sleep comfortable on a bench? I had my toiletries with me, so I would always go to the bathrooms in the morning and like just wipe myself up and then get ready to start to figure things out. I was told that I could get tested for my COVID test at the airport. I went in the area that I'm supposed to be get test to be tested at, and they're telling me about some. I cannot do it. Like, when I tell you everything was going wrong, everything was going wrong. So I had to go back in the city to get my test and then have to wait 2 days. So I'm at the airport 2 days sitting because I am waiting for my COVID results, and I cannot travel with my without these COVID results. And even if I had them, there were no flights that were going to my destination on the following day because it was during COVID. It wasn't that easy, guys. I went through a lot. After 2 days, that's when I finally was able to get my COVID results. As soon as I got them, I called my father. I said, "Father, the results are out. The results are out. Take me home." So we quickly check, and luckily the following day there was like a this is basically after 2 nights of me sleeping in the airport. The following night, so this would have been the third night, that's when they said that's when I got my COVID test, and that's when COVID test results, and that's when we found that there were flights to go back home. So I finally was able to go back home. Mind you, I still don't know where my bags are. So I checked in and I asked the ladies I'm checking. I'm like, "Hey, sorry, so I was supposed to go with this plane, but then I got left and I don't know my luggage." She's like, "Oh, don't worry, your luggage is here." Like, when it, I didn't know how the system works. Okay, to some of you it might be common sense. To me, it was not. So she's like, "Oh no, don't worry. Like, your baggage is here with in the airport. They're gonna check it in since you've checked in the system. So they're gonna check it in as well." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Now I have to look for my carry-on bag because this man left it at the lost and found." He said, "I'm not gonna move around with your bag." He left it at the lost and found. The airport is so big. I'm like, "Which lost and found? I don't know how many lost and founds are there." And then I start moving around. I got the lost and found. They're like, "Oh no, we don't have it." I go to the other one. Thank God I found it. So I'm like, "Okay, great." So I know where my luggage is. I have my carry-on. It's finally time to go home. And that's when, if you watch my first video, that's when I'm finally recording again. Because it was my first time recording, I didn't have the energy to, like, guys, if I actually recorded all the chaos that happened, maybe I would have had so many subscribers at this point, because it was so dramatic in the moment. But because it was my first time, I'm 19, I'm stressed, guys, I cried a lot. I didn't record anything. And then finally when I checked in, that's when I record. If you saw my video, I'm gonna put the clip here. That's when I'm like eating McDonald's and I'm like, "Oh, it was a long story. I'm probably gonna do a story time one day." And here I am doing the story time 6 years later. But right now, everything went well. I'm having McDonald's and I'm about to go and board my flight. I got a McChicken menu. Is it 6 years or 5 years? I don't know. But I'm finally doing the story time today. So I finally was able to travel, but yo, for a 19-year-old with no money, and also I thought my parents were gonna shout at me. I thought my dad was gonna be like, "Do you know how much money you've wasted?" I just, like, because it was my fault, the company was not gonna compensate me for the missed flight. I'm like, this man is gonna shout at me. So it was just so many things happening. I finally fly to Nairobi. My layover was 2 hours. Wait in Nairobi for 2 hours. Finally go to Lusaka, and because I'd missed my flight to go to Solowezi, which was my final destination, I had to sleep in Lusaka again. When I tell you, a journey that was supposed to be at least 2 days ended up becoming like almost 5 days. It was crazy. I finally arrived in Solowezi, and because it was COVID, I had to be in quarantine for like, I don't know if it was a week or two. Still couldn't see my family. Like, I saw them, but like I couldn't even hug them because we're like, COVID. It was still a big thing then. So yeah, I finally was able to actually go home. I think after 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of me leaving Spain. Even if like when I missed my flight at the airport, even if I wanted to go back to Spain, I checked out of the hostel that I was staying in. There was the residential area I was staying in. I didn't have a house anyway. And I couldn't go home. And I'm like, what is going on? And yeah, guys, that's the story of how I was stuck at the Amsterdam airport for 2 nights. I was homeless, but like at the airport for 2 nights. And this is my story time. If you ever want more story times, guys, guys, I have a lot of story times. If you enjoyed this story time, please like and tell me if you need more story times. And also, if you've ever been in a situation like this where you missed the flight, where you were in a similar situation as me, where you ended up homeless unexpectedly, comment down below so that I can feel that I'm not the only person who went through this. But thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all the good stuff. And with that being said, see you in the next video. Bye.